I know what you're thinking. Who's that handsome devil standing in front of the Universal Arches? But I'm gonna need you to focus right now because we've got a lot to talk about. We're officially almost halfway to Halloween, and we, spooky fans, have a lot of questions still, like for HHN, Universal Horror Unleashed, and so much more. But not just that, we've got some big epic things to talk about and a long-awaited Universal update, so grab yourself a cup of joe, a cup of coffee, whatever floats your boat, and let's go for a spin.
Feels like almost every single day at this point has just been
a new announcement. It feels like Christmas.
Yeah. We've got epic things to talk about. We've got
Horror Unleashed,
things to talk
HHN,
about.
baby.
Some HHN stuff to talk about, or at least questions to ask the universe. But we have to pick a lane here.
I know. We always go towards Hollywood because there's usually a tribute store there.
But there's none today.
There's not, let's go down New York. Now I feel like right now we're kind of like in the middle of that weird limbo area where it's between Mardi Gras and all the summer announcements, right? Like the summer tribute store and whatnot. We do have Cinesational making a comeback, which actually already started, as well as a mega movie parade. So that's also a plus. But I guess the other con is that we still have Grad Bash days, with the next one being April 25th. So if you are... Thank you. We just got somebody randomly waving at us, so sorry for the interruptions. But as I was saying, for the Grad Bash, we still have one more date on April 25th. So if you're coming that day, remember that they do close the parks pretty damn early.
Like 6 o'clock early, okay? So make some plans around that. All right, we will talk a little bit more about Universal updates as we make our way through the park today. However, we want to top off this video with the meat and potatoes, baby. What is on all of our minds, well, most of our minds, and that is Epic Universe, because this week is a huge week for pass holders as well as other select groups that love Universal, because paid previews have officially started. We will be going into Epic Universe next week from the point that you're watching this video. And my mind just every single time that I think about that, because I thought that we were not going to get into Epic Universe until May 22nd, but it turns out that we are, and I am so excited. We will be at Epic Universe on April 21st, April 28th, and May 3rd? No, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. May 4th. If you are at Epic Universe during these days, let us know. Come say hi. We love to meet you at any of the parks, whether it's Universal, whether it will be now Epic Universe. Oh my gosh, we have so many parks to meet you at. But anyway, unless you have been living under a rock, which I doubt that you have, because if you're an annual pass holder, then you know all the updates all the time. You're in all the Facebook groups just like we are. But in case you don't know, paid previews will run from April 17th all the way through May 8th. This isn't just for pass holders, which is really good for other folks in these Universal groups. If you are a military freedom pass holder, active military freedom pass holder, you also have access to paid previews. If you are staying at a Universal resort, you have access to paid previews. And if you are a Universal Visa card holder, you also have access to this. Now, each of these groups are a little different. So for example, for AP holders as well as the military freedom holders, you do have to have an active pass, and they have to have already been used. So what I mean by that is you can't technically buy an annual pass online and say you live in Michigan and you have not been to the parks and you're like, I'm going to buy an annual pass so I can get a paid preview. It has to have already been activated. So you have to technically walk into Universal to activate your pass, and then you can purchase your paid preview for Epic Universe. Now, when it comes to the Universal Orlando hotel guests, from what we have heard, if you have heard differently, let us know in the comments, but from what we have heard, it seems that you can only purchase this paid preview at the Universal Resort that you are staying at the vacation planning desk. So it's not a matter of just like booking a hotel and then saying, well, how do I get this paid preview? You have to be in Orlando at the resort, again, from what we've heard. And when it comes to the Visa card holders, baby, I don't know much details on that because your girl does not need an extra credit card, but just know that this is also an additional perk that is offered to you.
Honestly, no pressure to buy a ticket though, because I know there's some folks out there who are a little hesitant to buy something that's still going through technical rehearsals, so do whatever's best for your wallet. But for us, depending on what is open, what is not, you're going to be able to experience everything through our lens. And with that being said, if you want to see anything specific, it could be the food, it could be the theming, it could be any attractions in specific or the meet and greets, let us know in the comments and we'll make sure to prioritize you.
Now, since we are counting down those days before entering Epic Universe, walking under that Chronos, the excitement has clouded our judgment because we have nothing to wear. I have no accessories. I have no idea. I feel like the Grinch, but what will I wear? So we're going to toss this over to our correspondents, Pound Walk over at Islands, and see if there's any Epic Universe merch that we can find over there. Thank you, President Huac and Pao. This is Future Pao reporting from Islands of Adventure. Now, as you know, we are going to Epic Universe next week, and we have absolutely nothing to wear. So there are a couple of places in Islands of Adventure or Universal as a whole where you can find some type of Epic merch. We have it here at the Trading Company in Islands of Adventure, or as well as the Epic Preview Center. I haven't had much luck finding stuff in the Epic Preview Center that I personally like, so we're going to check the Trading Company over here at Islands and see if there's something that I can find for the big day.
If you're not familiar, the merch that you see here is not actually the same exact merch that you see at the Preview Center. For example, and one of my favorite items, these shirts right here. How badass does it look? Look, they're pretty, I was gonna say pretty cheap, but I forgot they're $35, so not terrible, right? And if you want a cap that goes with it, that's $35 as well. So I might actually have to buy one of those for opening day. I'm not sure yet.
For opening day or for the day that we go?
Oh, for preview, that's right.
Yeah, because we're not going well, we are going opening day, but
yes,
we will be there before opening day. All right, so we got to find something
for you.
My Epic Universe outfit side quest here. We actually just saw How to Train Your Dragon for the first time, the first one last night, and this is so cute. It reminds me of Finley, actually.
Our cat, by the way,
our cat
for those
Finley.
who don't know.
What do you think? What do you think? What do we think?
It gives
do we
me...
want it? Do we want it? What is it giving?
It gives me like...
Is it giving Super Nintendo World?
Super Nintendo, but Mickey Mouse at the same time, because it's two on each side.
But I kind of like it. Like for the day that we cover Nintendo.
It might work.
It might work. What about you, though? Are you going to find something from here?
I might have to go with this one, but stay tuned. I haven't made a decision yet.
Oh, if I were you, I would make that decision right now. Clock is ticking. Tick, 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 tick. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that we have just pressured Huac into a potential outfit.
I think so.
Ooh,
I think we're going to go with this.
We're going to go with
Let's
it.
go with it.
So the Epic side quest, outfit side quest.
Checkpoint reached.
Maybe not a total failure.
Well, that was a success for me at least, because Pao decided not to get anything typical Pao. So the search continues. But more importantly, we got to transfer back. So back to you, Pound Walk.
Thank you, Pound Walk, for that very detailed update. Pow Girl, you got to get it together. Epic Universe next week. You got to find something. Anyway, if you are not heading into Epic Universe during paid previews, or it's going to take you some time, if you live in the states of Georgia, New York, Illinois, Pennsylvania, Universal is doing something very, very special, and that is that they are touring with a 30-foot Chronos replica in these states, and it's going to be kind of like a fun photo op. They're going to have visuals, they're going to have sound. It's going to be really fun to just check out if you are in those states, in the area. I love how Universal is just really finding ways to immerse everyone across the country with Epic Universe. It is such a time to be alive and such a time to live in Orlando. I'm so excited. I can't wait for next week. Anyway, let's head over to the Film Vault at Universal Studios, because we heard that there's some new Ghostbusters merch that we really want to check out. And we are not done with our updates video, baby. That was just Epic Universe. We got a whole lot of other stuff to talk about.
This is the reason. Well, I would say the merch is great here, but this is the main reason why I wanted to check this store out. This looks so incredible. Look, I came prepared, right? So, I mean, first of all, can I just say, of all the shirts, because we kind of already had an idea what was in here, but we hadn't actually seen it, this shirt, I would say, is actually the coolest one I've seen yet. And it glows in the dark. And if you're curious, it's $37.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
I really love these shot glasses. This is
Were those
so
there
cool.
for HHN?
No, I don't think these were here for HHN, not at all. You've got this one, and then you've got this. Does this light up?
That was definitely there for HHN.
Was it?
I remember seeing it at
Really?
the tribute store.
Okay, according to Paul, this was at the HHN Tribute Store.
It's like a self-portrait.
It does. That's why I like the Slimer so much.
There you go. See, I told
There you go.
There
Makes
has to be
sense.
something.
Makes
there has
sense.
to be a reason.
You don't want to see this.
Want to see what? Holy moly!
Question of the day: should I pull this? Will I get kicked out?
I don't think you should have.
No.
No.
No. There's just something about New York that just brings joy to my heart. It just reminds me of all those HHN scare zones throughout the years that have just been so badass. So I cannot wait to see what they're going to bring this year, which, speaking of, we're going to get a little bit more into HHN in a bit. But first, one update that we found pretty fascinating is that auditions are now happening as we speak. And they're looking for stilt walkers, they're looking for puppeteers, scare actors, and roller skaters. Roller skaters. Can you imagine how much potential they can have with that? I don't know. I'm just so excited for it. Welcome to my tomb.
All right, so we talked Epic. Now it is time for Horror Unleashed because
That's right,
we did
baby.
get some things that dropped for Horror Unleashed. I know you're very excited
Yeah,
about
I'm
that.
super excited. So we haven't heard of this before, but Discover Universal blog actually posted a recent interview with some of the creative minds behind the project, and they were comparing the HHN haunted houses with the houses over at the Experience. And as you know, if you've been to HHN, which I'm sure you have been,
Of course you have.
they go a lot quicker. So you're basically more focused on high octane jump scares in your face. You're jumping steadily from house to house, and you're just having a good time overall. But here, they want you to focus on the immersion, on the character building, on the story aspect of everything. So everything at Horror Unleashed is actually going to be slowed down. But on top of that, there was an additional interview that was dropped by Cinema Blend, who interviewed Nate Stevenson, who was behind the project as well. And he gave us 2 examples of what we can expect when they're talking about how slower pace and immersion they want us to feel. And the first thing is what they call holding rooms. It's basically going to really set the tone before you go into the house. And the second thing that they want us to feel are called memorable moments. And those are basically going to give you a more atmospheric feel before you also go. An example that he gave was for Scarecrow the Reaping was like the dust storm settling in. We're gonna see that kind of being created and getting us like in the feels before we go into the house itself.
So stoked. Live from Saturday night, we are getting a breaking news with the helicopters. Everybody is recording, but a Coca-Cola scare zone is coming to Halloween Horror Nights. We've got trusses up. We've got just kidding. This is all for Grad Bash, but it does give the vibes of Blumhouse. If you know, you know.
Now let's talk about the update that we have all been waiting for all day and all night. HHN, baby.
We know slim pickings. Announcements have been very far and few, in fact, none in between the beginning of this year and right now. So your guess is as good as mine as when things are coming down the pipe. But what we do know about HHN at this present point in time is the fact that the event will run from August 29th all the way through November 2nd. Number 2 is the fact that Rip Ride Rocket will be closing in September. This is important for a number of reasons. Maybe you're the type of person that comes to HHN and wants to bang out houses as well as rides. No shame in that. When we did not live in Orlando, we actually used to try to do that as well. However, keep in mind that Rip Ride Rocket will be gone. Now, this is also important to note because Rip Ride Rocket was a huge crowd alleviator when it came to the New York section of the park. A lot of people would, especially a lot of teens, would go in that direction to get those thrills in. So I'm very curious what is going to happen in that area. Will Transformers maybe open up again to kind of give an extra ride to the park? Yet to be determined, we will see, but just so you know, there is no Rip Ride. And number 3, very interesting. Fans have noticed that on the website for Halloween Horror Nights, if you click on the dates, a calendar pops up and it shows you when Halloween Horror Nights is running throughout, the season. And typically HHN will run Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, always closed Mondays and Tuesdays, except for a specific week in September, the week of September 16th. That week, HHN on that Thursday, September 18th, is actually going to be closed. Before we freak out, it will be open on that Tuesday, September 16th. Why the dates are swapping? Your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea. Nothing has been officially announced, but it leaves us with a lot of questions, which brings me to the point of all the questions we have about Halloween Horror Nights, which is, number one, when the heck are we going to get an announcement? We're about to be in May, and we still don't have ticket dates. Tickets dropped last year at the beginning of April, and we still don't have tickets. Now, I know that with Epic in the mix, things have been shuffled around, announcements and things just have been moved around, and totally get it. The conversation wants to stay on Epic, but spooky fans over here got questions, guys. Michael Yellow, paging Michael Yellow, paging John Murdy over in Hollywood. Where are you at, guys? We really need some announcements over here. Anyway, another question that we have is, will we have Premium Scream Night this year? I mean, we got it last year at the beginning of the event, the day before the event officially started, and it was a massive success. Now, I gotta say, I would love to experience Premium Scream Night, but not before the event officially starts. I would love it to be later on in the season. I know I'm not the only one who holds this sentiment, and I don't know, HHN, if that Thursday is blocked off for something special, like say a special private event like Premium Scream Night, that would be freaking amazing. We don't know. I'm literally just like spouting off here. We have no idea if this is just like blocked off for something private that has nothing to do with the public, but that's all I got to say about that. And number 3, IPs. I mean, when are we getting an IP announcement? Because obviously we want tickets. We want tickets, but we also want actual announcements. I want to know what my HHN season is shaping up to be. Now, we don't get into speculation on this channel. There are a whole lot of other videos that you can go to when it comes to speculation. But for us, I mean, there's a lot of excitement in the air about certain movies. Now, we did a whole video on 2025 movies that we would love to have a house at HHN that in our eyes deserve a spot at HHN. And I mean, you know, I just
Are you okay?
I would love to see some exciting announcements drop down the pipe soon, hopefully, please. When it comes to those IP announcements, last year we got them in, the first IP announcement came in June. So will that schedule remain the same? I don't know. But let's just hope. Let's hope. I actually forgot to get my anything Epic related. Oh my god, the park actually just closed.
Oh god.
I don't even know if we're gonna have time. Hold on.
And there she goes, like a stallion in the wind, looking for something to wear at Epic.
La claw.
You see? It's a back scratcher. Not bad.
What if I shake? What if we go to the meet and greets at Epic and I just shake? Maybe they will induct me as an honorary monster if I shake my hand. If I wear like a long sleeve.
You know what else
and then
could
I
happen?
just like shake my hand, their hand with.
I think maybe they can also kick you out.
You're saying I can't bring this into Epic?
Yes, you can. Of course you can.
I really don't know, actually. Maybe we just bought this for fun. Anyway, Hawk, you have one more update to talk about.
I do. And that is that the UK, Great Britain, will officially now have a universal theme park of its own coming 2031. That's right. I almost said the wrong year. They're going to start construction. It is right around the corner. They're going to start construction next year, right?
Yes.
We don't know much. If you look online, though, there are so many rumors, but we're not going to dive into spec.
Excitement in the air.
There's a lot of rumors.
things.
Yes.
Hawk was about to let the whole camera die
I
on
know.
you in the middle of telling you about UK.
It was turning red. Like the screen was turning red and everything.
I saw it
and
from the corner of my eye, and you guys were just having a whole conversation without
because
me.
this is an A and B conversation, see your way out of it.
Anyway, so many exciting things. We've actually been
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about the UK since 2024.
For a while
and so
now.
It's amazing that finally, 2025, the UK government has officially announced
Right.
that there is going to be.
It's exciting to
theme
see
park.
everything
Now,
come together
from,
now.
From A to Z, there's still a lot left to come
100%.
together.
Anything
so.
can happen from here to there.
Yes.
But the biggest question is, will we see Jack the Clown coming to the UK? Because I will be the first one in line. You can bet on that.
If there is
Any
type of
HHN, right.
in
Yeah,
the UK, we're just
100%.
gonna have to take a world tour at that point. If you want to contribute to the HHN world tour, just let us know. Let us know.
Chip in below.
We're gonna have to get Finley or Kat to work overtime for that.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much for sticking around. I mean, this video, if you've been watching our videos, was a little bit of a different format.
Absolutely.
I would say that we tried today.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this style of video with updates and more kind of like
Right.
casual,
More casual.
let us know in the comments. If you absolutely hated it, maybe send us a DM on Instagram instead of publicly shaming us, please.
Right.
No, just kidding. We really hope that you did enjoy this updates, whether it was hitting on some of the updates that you cared about in specific areas or hitting updates that all the updates. And my
Right.
hand is dying holding this camera.
Get
We'll
ready.
see you next week from
We
Epic
are
Universe.
ready. Unless there's an HHN announcement that drops
And then we
in
have to do
between
another
then.
video for that.
Right. Then you
But
catch
we will
us
see you
then.
very soon. Either way, we will see you next week.
Stay spooky.
Yes.